Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's time for This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zdora of the Z Team, Century 21 LeMac Realty here in Mountain Home, 870-405-0793. How about that?
Very good.
Yeah.
Good.
One of these days I'll remember that number. How's things in your world?
Good. We put a house under contract this week and we're out on a couple listing appointments, so that's a good sign. I mean, the market's still active. The interest rates, I saw a piece yesterday, Tuesday night, that said that interest rates had crossed 7. And that's like it did really jump fast from 6. It went kind of just, 6 was like a little speed bump going to 7.
Wow.
So it affects how much people can afford, obviously. I mean, and people that are in other places, because we're depending upon people coming here, as we've spoken about before, and for them to sell where they are, there's markets that are down 25%, price-wise from where they were. So what they thought they were going to get for their house, they're not, and it's harder to sell some of these houses. And we're seeing it here. We're seeing the houses with price reductions that are going under the house that we put under contract. We had put a price reduction in a week ago, and it went under on Sunday. Just the way the market is. I mean, it's going to be a more normal market. But the problem is we don't have the inventory that we've historically had for this. And, when you're still down in the low 200s for houses, it's really not very many for an area as big as we cover, as big as we have here. And the whole, within the sound of my voice, pretty much, we cover all that area into Wisconsin. So we were talking into Missouri, and to be able to help people up there, pretty big net. And to only have 230 some houses, I think it is, available to show people, it's hard. And it's the same in other markets as well. There's still a lot of demand, not a lot of supply, and that's what's keeping the prices up. Otherwise, all the prices would be coming down. If there was 400 houses, 300 houses on the market, the price would be coming down to encourage people to buy them. Most of the ones that we're seeing more and more price reductions every week. And those are the houses that are getting bought up more so. And those that are more reasonably priced. I mean, there were people that were kind of pie in the sky with some of the numbers that they thought, you take a look, you've seen what's sold before you go out on a listing appointment, and then you go, okay, what's your number? Oh, we don't know, you tell us. Everybody's got a number. You've got a number. You know where you want it, where you think you should be. And they're not as realistic as they need to be in this current market.
How long have you been in Arkansas?
We've been here, it'll be 19 years this month.
So have you ever heard the term cut a fat hog?
No.
Okay, so let me explain that to you real quick.
Sure.
So you have a home, and you think it's worth this, but the market is so good, so you're going to list it here, knowing that it's really only worth here. So if you actually sell it for here or somewhere from here to here, you've cut the fat hog, see?
Okay.
Because you've made that extra.
Yeah.
Right.
And in over the past 2 years, that's been the case. But once we got through like April, May, it started to turn. As the interest rates kicked in, this became more and more unrealistic. And I need, house is still worth about this, and even with their worth in here, it makes it a little
self-adjusting.
Yes, it does. And it's what it is. It's the market. It's not Bob Zdora. Bob Zdora doesn't come to your house and tell you what's the market. This thing here tells me what your house is worth.
Right.
I mean, it's
some
some knowledge
what somebody's willing to pay for.
Exactly.
And what it'll appraise for.
Right. And that's the other part of it. I mean, getting the appraisers to be in it, because appraisers, we've had instances where appraisers have gone, could you show me where you got your comps from when you priced this house? Because I can't find anything that I can use to help justify this price. Oh, well, and they don't have them. So, and I've asked agents, where did you get this number? I'm looking, I'm trying to help find my client a house, and they like the house, but they certainly don't like where it's priced at. Well, we'll just have them make an offer, and we'll say, not
We're going to play the
not
show
necessarily
game.
a good way to do business.
We'll just play the show game and see which.
And then you'll see them. They'll come back up when you see them when you go through the solds. you'll see them 2 months later, and it'll be 100,000 below what they listed. Well, you may have had 4 other buyers walk past that because they never even went through the front door because it was priced too high. And that's where you got to be. You know, if you can't, people aren't coming through the door, drop the price. More people will come through the door, and your chance of selling it become that much better.
With the increase in interest, has that changed the demographic of the buyer that's coming to this area?
We're seeing more cash buyers or people able to put down a large amount of money, so the interest rate doesn't really hurt them as much. I had a guy tell me a couple weeks ago that I'd rather live in my investment than have it keep losing money in the market. So
I had that same conversation with a banker friend of mine from Fayetteville yesterday, and I said, "What are you going to do when you sell your home?" He's got a big old house over there. He said, "Well, I'm going to go buy something, pay cash for it, and just live in my investment."
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that makes a lot of sense. So then I went on and asked him again, and I said, well, 3 months ago we talked about this, and one of the things that you said was you're seeing a lot of refinancing because people are paying off higher interest rate debt and putting a HELOC or whatever on their home. So closings in our area should be a little bit faster to obtain.
They are, because they're not getting as many refis at 6% as you were when they were paying 6% and the rates were at 3. You know, smart people did that. You know, you hope for that they got ahead of that, and they're living in their house and they're living in where they're at. It's harder for the banks because of the 3% loans. 4% loans, even a 5% loan when they're charging 7 now, to make enough money on those. It's a difficult thing. I saw a thing yesterday that 99% of the mortgages are less than what the rate is now. So that's a good sign. So people are becoming more hesitant to sell, because if they're going to sell this house here, wherever here may be, and go someplace else to buy another house, a similar house, a better house, a smaller house, whatever it is, by the time you get done with the difference in the mortgage that you're paying, that's a big hit. You know, I'm under 3, and if we were to buy another house at 7, my payment would probably, if I bought the same house, my payment would probably double with that. Makes a big difference.
Makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Buyability.
Exactly. It is. It's not the cost of the house. It's not the price of the house. It's what it costs you to live in it. That's the deal.
Yeah. Plus the fact that the natural gas is going up, the LP gas is going up. You know, insurance is changing. You know, everything is changing due to the fact that they're manipulating the market the way they are. With the interest rates.
We were in a great house, and I told the guy, I says, "You need to talk to your insurance." I says, "What do you have this place insured for?" Just trying to get some idea of numbers of where they were at on it and stuff. And he told me, I says, "You better go back and talk to your agent again, and I would get this, because your replacement value,
You're nowhere close.
you're nowhere close to what it would cost you to replace it. You know, God forbid something happens."
Yeah. We better look at some numbers.
We could do that. This week in real estate, there were 43 new listings came on the market, 2 commercial properties, 16 parcels of land, 25 homes came on the market. They ranged in price from $114,000 to $455,000. There were 26 sales, no commercial properties, 5 parcels of land sold, 21 homes sold. Those 21 homes sold in a price ranging from $95,000 to $620,000. The average sale price this week was $275,000 with 83 days on market. We still did 5.7 in residential real estate closed this past week. And when you look at that average sale price at $275,000, so it means a number of bigger houses sold in there. 5 properties expired, 26 had price changes, and that's up a little bit. Currently, there's 237 homes listed on the MLS. And again, that number is not as good as, it's not an exact number because there's multiple insertions for some of these houses. Year to date, there's been 888 homes have sold for $195 million. Average sale price this year is $219,000 with 81 days on market. For last year, there had been 947 homes that sold for $188 million. The average sale price last year was $198,000. That jumped $2,000 this week. was 198 with 90 days on market. So the days on market is getting smaller for last year, and then prices are going up. The average sale prices are going up, and I mean, the prices are up. They're holding, but they're not. Like I say, the price reductions are going to sell before the others, and it's a matter of the number of houses that you got. You got to have enough houses for people to come to see, to want to buy them. And we're noticing an appreciable number of bigger houses coming on the market. I mean, there's a number of houses that have come on that are pushing $1 million, over $1 million. And it's like, where were you a year and a half ago? When you had a much better chance of doing that. I spoke to a banker the other day, and we were talking about jumbo rates for stuff over, I think it was like 650. They dropped that number down some to help with those rates, and even they're still in the low sixes. So that's an appreciable amount of money every month. If you're buying a house that's $600,000-$700,000. Generally, you're going to have. And again, the more you can put down, the better off you're going to be, because you're buying that mortgage back, and you're not making any money in the bank. If it's sitting in a savings account, a checking account, put it into the mortgage. Now all of a sudden you're making 7% on that money, in a phantom kind of way, but
Sure.
That's what you're getting, because you're not paying that 7%.
In the roundabout, if you're not paying it, you're making it.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So it's market's always changing. We went through this before when the market fell apart before in '08. It's a totally different deal now than what we're going through. I think that we're going to have economically, countrywide, I think we're going to see some economic challenges, but I don't see housing taking the hit that it took before, because if you could fog a mirror, they were given mortgages. Now these houses that are selling now, you've got some skin in the game. You've got money, you've got equity built into there. You had to put money down. You have good credit. The number of people with bad credit that got houses is very low, actually. So hopefully people won't start getting laid off. There's nothing to do about that. But I don't see the same type of train wreck that caused the economic crisis in '08 that we're going through now.
Y'all doing much on selling new construction stuff?
There is new construction going on. Most of that, we're selling the lots to people that are buying to build on. And those guys are out 6, 7, 8 months, to get started. And then it's getting the material together to get them finished. You see these projects where they start, and then you don't see anybody there for a month. And then you see them there, and it's all busy, and then you don't see them again for another couple of weeks. And when we built ours, once we broke ground, there was something going on every day. There was motion all the time, except for waiting for the concrete to dry. There was something going on every day, and you're not seeing that now when you go by these places. Once they put the magic beans down and it starts to grow up, it gets up and it stops, and then it gets up and it stops. It's material wise too.
Staging.
Yeah.
How do we get you?
Call my honey. She's at 870-405-0793. The website's retiredtoarkansas.net. We've got the full MLSs on our website. It's easy to search. You can see what's out there. You can see what's going on in your neighborhood. There's a number of different ways to search. And there's other cameras on there and everything else. So that's a very useful tool. But Call My Honey's the best. If you're going to go to the office, ask for the Z team. We're not sitting around in the office. If you're going to call the office, go to the office, Call My Honey first. It'll make things much easier. 870-405-0793. And if you want to use Bob's card over at Orschland's, you can just tell them 870-405-0793.
And they'll say, wait a minute, are you really that person?
They're paying attention.
They are. Good to see you once again.
Yes, sir.
See you again next week.
We will.
This has been This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zdora, Century 21 LeMac Realty, the Z Team, 870-405-0793, retiredarkansas.net. Realtors you could recommend to your friends. I always say they're busy, but never too busy to help you.
That's true.
Have a great day.